The Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our AI in Action series, where leading minds in AI from across the world share their story, success, and advice. AI in Action cuts through the hype and explores the true impact of artificial intelligence in our world today.
You're listening to AI in Action. I'm your host, JP Valentine. Our guest today is Nafiz Hamid. Nafiz is the head of data science at Nobias Therapeutics. Nafiz, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
So, Nafiz, as we do with all of our guests, let's start with yourself, please. Could you give us a bit of an overview of your journey in technology, from where you got started, some of the roles you've held along the way, taking us up to today as the Director of Data Science for Nobias Therapeutics?
I did my undergrad in computer science from Bangladesh. I worked almost 2 years after that as a software engineer. Then I started my PhD in computational biology at Iowa State University. My PhD thesis was using the latest AI techniques at that time, is around 2015, 2016, to find novel antimicrobial peptides which can be used as antibiotics. So it was like one of the first projects in that area that used latest deep learning techniques to generate representations of microbial sequences. And after I finished my PhD, I did my postdoc at Broad and Harvard and MGH, where I worked in CRISPR, which is genome editing. I developed AI techniques to make the genome editing process more efficient.
Very interesting. Thank you for sharing the background. You're coming very much on the research side, and your work with CRISPR is a great segue into how you've landed where you are now. So tell us all about Nobias Therapeutics, firstly, who you are, what you do, mission of the business, and then we can talk about your role.
So Nobias Therapeutics is a biotech startup that exclusively focuses on pediatric rare. It was founded in 2020 by our Chief Scientific Officer, Hakon Hakonarsson, who is a professor at the Perelman School of Medicine at University of Pennsylvania, and also the director of Center for Applied Genomics at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. And he has decades of experience like founding companies and both also in academia. And the second co-founder was Brian Halak, who is a partner at Domain Associates, which is one of the first and largest venture capital firms in the United States in life sciences. So together, they founded this company, and then our CEO, Neil Inala, joined from Google, and our VP of Engineering, Sam Inala, joined from Microsoft. And they both bring like decades of experience from the tech. So it's a unique blend of tech and biotech experience here at Nobias, where we are exclusively focusing on pediatric rare diseases.
So it's an all-star cast, and the focus area on pediatrics is very interesting, which we can talk about the impact that can have in a moment. But I want to have you describe to us what your role entails as the head of data science, focusing on molecular pathways. What does that mean? Obviously, help our audience who are maybe not coming from the life sciences space understand how you're utilizing data science for this research.
So I joined as the third employee in the research team here at Nobias. I exclusively focus on the integration of AI with our genomics data side. We have unique access to genomic data from pediatric patients. So we try to leverage that data and integrate that with cutting edge AI techniques to find causes of these rare diseases and these causes will lead us to potential drug targets, which then we try to find some solution to attack those targets and hopefully bring these solutions to like human clinical trials.
So on the topic then of the solutions, what sort of impact do you envisage Nobias Therapeutics having on these pediatric drugs? Like what could be the difference if your research is successful, just to help set the stage of how impactful the work could be?
Sure. There are more than 7,000 rare diseases and approximately 25 to 30 million people in the United States are affected with these rare diseases. So these rare diseases might be like rare in terms of the individual perspective, but they are pervasive. And because not many people are affected by them, like individually with these diseases, they have been neglected to find proper drugs. Our goal here at Nobias is using our access to this unique database combined with all the latest AI techniques that are coming out so that we can find these drugs for these people who have been suffering for a long time.
So, Nafis, your background obviously started on the research side, working in academia, but you now oversee the broad data science function, and you're using some really cool and interesting aspects of data science and machine learning. Could you describe what that's like day to day? Maybe give us some insight into the data and ML team and what you're using the technology for.
Sure. So primarily right now we are focusing on finding drug targets for some rare diseases. So one of the examples I can give is we have our internal knowledge graph. So knowledge graph is basically, it's a graph, but that comprises any kind of knowledge in a certain domain. So for example, if in your Facebook friend list where you are connected with these friends, and those friends are then connected with many friends. If you think of these friends as nodes, then if you are connected with them, there's an edge between you. So this actually depicts a certain type of knowledge. In the biomedical field, we can also have these knowledge graphs where we have these nodes that can be entities like genes, proteins, drugs, diseases, indications, contraindications, pathways, things like those, where like these individual entities, they are connected with each other. Now, the benefit of generating this knowledge graph is once we have this knowledge, we synthesized the known human knowledge in terms of these diseases and how they function. But this is an incomplete knowledge graph, right? Because we haven't really found the causes for all of these diseases. So once you can train one of these AI models, like one of these deep neural networks on these kind of models, what you can do is you can predict novel links between these entities. So suppose I can give the model a disease, and I can ask it to predict a link between that disease and a particular protein. And then it can give me those predictions, even though these links previously weren't present in the knowledge graph. Once we have those kind of predictions, we can actually use many other tools to further investigate these predictions and get a sense of what these predictions are, how accurate these predictions really are, and then investigate them to take them further to like in vitro testing or in vivo testing.
You are listening to the Alldus podcast. When you're looking to scale your team, or if you are interested in showcasing your company in a future episode, reach out today. Or if you're in the market for a new role, visit our website to view open positions, www.alldus.com.
To help our audience understand the broader overview of Nobias Therapeutics, could you describe the entire technology group and how you guys work in collaboration from computational sciences, data science, machine learning, and the engineering as well? What does it look like there overall?
So we have two broad teams. One team is our clinical trial team, who run our decentralized clinical trial on 22q deletion syndrome. It's a phase 2 clinical trial that is currently going on, and we can talk more about that later. And the other team is our research/engineering team, which currently consists of 7 people, where broadly we are divided in, you can say, 2 groups, where one group works on finding these drug targets using this wide variety of AI tools. And then our other team is the in silico drug target validation team, who generate these AI models to do molecular docking and molecular simulation to validate these drug targets that we are finding.
Nobias Therapeutics is viewing themselves and uses the languages of being an AI-first therapeutics company. What does that mean, and how does it differ from some of the other therapeutics organizations who are utilizing aspects of AI to support research versus you guys as an AI-first therapeutics company? How would you explain the difference between the two?
That's a really good question. So when we say an AI-first company, AI not only consists of the great models that we have seen recently, but also the data is really important. What kind of data that you are working with, especially in the biomedical field, good data is really scarce. So that's what separates us from other companies, where not only we are using the latest AI techniques like these large language models, knowledge graphs, graph neural networks, but also we have unique access to this patient data that consists of different modalities like sequence data, genotyping, that we can tease apart with these AI techniques and find the causes for these rare diseases. Because rare disease data is really scarce already so far. So having this kind of data set really gives us these unique privilege of looking at what is really happening in the human body when these rare diseases occur.
Nafiz, I want to get your take now on the road ahead for Nobias Therapeutics. You guys are early in your journey, but given the round of funding that you guys received and the founders involved, it's clear that there's a lot of confidence in the business model and the area in which you're working. As the head of data science at Nobias Therapeutics, when you look at the roadmap over the next 1 to 2 years, what are you most excited about when it comes to scaling the company, particularly with the hiring that you're going to need to make? I know you're going to need to bring in data scientists, data engineers, machine learning people, and computational scientists. So can you talk to us about what the next 1 to 2 years look like from a growth perspective, and what opportunities are there going to be for people to come and join you on this journey?
So let me talk about first the clinical trial that we are running on, which kind of already sets apart our journey from other startups, in that we already have a phase 2 clinical trial going on a rare disease called 22q deletion syndrome, which is basically when a small part of your chromosome 22 is missing, and it causes heart defects, immune system disorders, learning, behavioral, and mental health impacts, things like those. They're running a decentralized clinical trial currently in collaboration with 4 hospitals, and the phase 2 trial will soon end. After that, we actually have planned to start another phase 2 clinical trial for the rare disease of lymphatic anomaly, where we kind of validated this target that we are trying to attack in lymphatic anomaly using our unique workbench of AI tools. So for the next 1 or 2 years, our plan is to basically see how these clinical trials phase out, and we are actively working on generate new drug targets for other rare diseases and basically bring them to human clinical trials. We are building this AI workbench of tools that we can rapidly iterate on different rare diseases and find drug targets and bring these drug targets to the human clinical trial to treat them with a drug. So for us, efficiency is of utmost importance. That's why we're looking to raise another round of funding very soon. And we are always looking to hire people with unique AI and biology experience who are excited of this journey.
Yeah, so talk to us about that, because I definitely want to use this as an opportunity to help our audience, some of whom will be potential future candidates for Nobias. It'd be good to understand what types of positions being hired in the future. And when you're speaking to candidates yourself, what is it that you tell them about Nobias Therapeutics that gets them excited to join you guys over some of the other great companies hiring?
Anytime you work in the industry, it's a unique blend of different people with different backgrounds that is needed to bring a drug to the market. So we are hiring AI engineers, computational biologists, software engineers, medicinal chemists. We have positions open for all of these roles. The thing I tell our candidates is it's a unique place where you can have a real impact on children who are suffering from these rare diseases. And also at the same time, we have lots of freedom in terms of the projects we are pursuing, because very few startups are focusing on these rare. We can try things that are really out of the box to attack these diseases.
Nafiz, thank you so much for coming on today and talking to us. Really great to hear about your own background, some of the amazing work you did on the academic side, and then joining Nobias at a very early stage. The work you're doing as an AI first therapeutics is really stand out, and the fact that you're using it to focus on rare diseases is also really exciting. And lots of growth in store, plenty of opportunities for people working in AI, combining with life sciences to help you along this mission. So we wish you, the team, and everyone at Nobias the very best of luck in the months and years to come. And we look forward to having you back on the show.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.